We'll go ahead and call the Public Works meeting to order. If you would, review the minutes from the August 15th meeting, and if there's any additions, corrections, we'll entertain that. If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes. We'll wait till another member of the Public Works Committee gets here before we call the meeting to order. We will call the Public Works meeting to order now. So we've got enough for a quorum. If you would, review the minutes from the past meeting, the August 15th meeting. I'll entertain a motion to approve if there's no additions or corrections. Got a motion by Carmen to approve. Do I have a second? Second by Chris Gregory. Any more discussion? All in favor say aye. Motion carries. We'll move right into discussion items under number 3. First thing is parks, playground updates. Will say I just drove by there a few minutes ago. Looks like they made a lot of progress. Looks like they formed around, I guess, where they're gonna pour the concrete, and I seen the black post is already there or whatever. So it looks like they moving right along. But Cliff, you want to give us?
Yes, sir. You described it. They're moving along great. They were hoping to pour concrete this week. I think the rains kind of shied them off from getting in there and moving all the gravel and getting everything ready to go. I talked to Alicia earlier this week and Maggie both, and they both asked me if the pour and play had been installed yet. So they're expecting that to happen anytime as well, either before the sidewalk's done or thereafter. We're gonna have a crew there to stay. They recommended 24 to 48 hours to keep anybody from tampering with it. It's not as hard as cement, but if it's imprinted on, it will last as long as cement will. So we're gonna have to guard it at night and keep people from tampering with it. All the equipment's installed except for the swings and stuff, and that's basically just to keep people from getting injured on the hard ground or rocks or anything around there. Still an active construction site. We don't really want people on it. We've seen little footprints on stuff, so it is happening, but it's a play at your own risk at this time. So it does look great. I'm real impressed with it. We're thrilled to death to have it. We're cleaning around all the rest of the park. We're painting gonna build a couple of new picnic tables and just looking forward to it opening up as soon as possible.
Anybody got any questions in regard to this? I had someone from that works out at the trade school, uh, said it, said what they walked the parks in the morning and realized it might need some more benches down there. Said the trade school might be willing to build some benches for us and for the welding class and all. If we donated materials, and I told them how to bring it up in our meeting tonight. They said that they thought it might need some benches around it. The other ones, and I told them how to bring it up tonight.
If it's gonna be inside the fenced in area, then it won't be allowed. Everything has to be TDEC approved and inspected and approved by those guys before they'll let us move it in. We can't violate anything. We've been around and around for the last 2 weeks about the camera system. That didn't work as planned and I'm fine with it. And I'm in hindsight, I'm glad it didn't work out, but I was real disappointed last week and this week learning that we weren't able to do that. But on that note, TDEC has to approve them. We have a couple, right outside the park and we can do what we want. Are you concerned about that play area or the walk track?
I think I think they may have been talking about the walk track where they might have some
Okay,
benches
yeah.
around that. And I think
Yeah,
that's what she was talking about. Said
Right.
that
Yes,
they would
sir.
be, that the trade school would be interested, probably might building a bench or two if we donate the materials through their welding class or something. Just thought
Okay.
they'd bring it up and I told them I'd mention it tonight.
Yes, sir. We've got some that are right outside the playground area right now that are the no smoking benches that the health department gave to us, donated to us several years ago, 3, 4 years ago. All the benches that are inside the playground there's gonna be enough of them that we can actually move those. We've got a couple on the walk track area now. We're looking at putting another swing up. We rebuilt the swing that's on the walk track this year. A lot of what we've lost is the old homemade 6x6 benches, with the 6x6 post and the plank across them. Those have just deteriorated over time, so we've pulled some of that stuff up. But we have some nice wrought iron benches that we will be putting in the area once the playground is completed. We'll have some freed up there.
All righty, we'll move into the next item, pool season 2024.
Mr. Chairman,
Mr. Grigg.
a couple of quick questions on the play area. You said it'll have to be watched over 24, 48 hours. Will Public Works be doing that? Will the Sheriff Department be doing that? Or have we figured that out?
We'll be doing that.
Okay, and second question, now, after our last meeting, someone had asked me about the old Trade Park sign, because I called you and asked about that. Can you update us on anything with that?
I hadn't heard any updates about it. We'll have to run through the proper channel to speak with the mayor and see what the Trey Parker Foundation wants to do with the sign. It's stored in a secure location. It is still out in the weather, but it's a weatherproof sign, so it's not in any and it's not gonna be damaged or hurt in any way. It's just there in case the Parker family want the sign back. It should be offered to them first, in my opinion. I don't think that's county property.
Anybody else got any questions in regard to this? If not, we'll move into the next item, pool season 2024. Did you get our final numbers?
I hope these are not the final numbers. The numbers I have are kind of painful to report tonight. We've lost some files that we had prepped before Carrie left. I don't know if I've misplaced them or what's happened to them. I just know they're no longer there. Grand total loss this year was 23,447. I'm still looking for a payroll that I'll get with these ladies and we'll get that hammered out. I'll have it by next meeting for sure. The payroll this year compared to last year is a lot more. It was $34,417 this year. Chemicals were a big hit. I said something about the chemicals last year. We're getting a lot less chemical. as far as potency and pounds for our buck. 3 years ago, before COVID, we were paying $100 for 100 pounds of chlorine shock. Now we're paying $260 for 50 pounds of chlorine shock, and it just don't have the punch. Even when you take the lid off of it now, it's not as pungent, or, we used to have to wear protective gear when we go in, and it's still an opportunity for these guys to do if they want, but Shaq can verify that it's just not necessary. This stuff's just not what it used to be. I don't know. I don't know if any of y'all ever remember, been 2-3 years ago now, the big chlorine factory. I believe it was in New Jersey that made all these pool supplies, and we had a scare and everybody went on a rampage. And I think a lot of this stuff's imported now, and it's not as powerful as it used to be. So we're paying a lot more for chemical. The water bill is up considerably this year. I've been saying it for quite a few years now. The pool lived its life at 2011. We're well past the life of the swimming pool. It's starting to leak a little more. We patch and plug and do what we can, but eventually it's just going to be a replacement or something else. That'll be something to be discussed, but that's where we're at with the pool.
Well, I mean, why was the payroll so much more this year than in the past?
We've bumped pay. We went from minimum wage in the past 5 years to $13, $14, $15 an hour. We gave bonuses this year, something we've never done. I mean, we did it, I believe, last year, but there wasn't as many. We had repeat customers this year. It's just several. Well, those are the two big things: the pay raise and the bonuses. Really did get us. I think the pay raises was the biggest hit, because we've upped it every year for the past 3 years. We've upped pay.
Anybody else got any questions in this? It's something that around first year, we really got to discuss about the next year's pool, or maybe before then.
I'll tell you, another thing that didn't help us, these pool parties, we didn't sell any this year. We just didn't sell pool parties this year. We didn't sell season passes this year. We've priced ourselves out of business, in my opinion. That's just my opinion. One soul. I don't mean much here, but that's, we just didn't sell them, and that's the only reason I can think of is why we didn't sell them, is they just got out of hand. I think we're a little bit expensive.
Way down on the pool parties and season passes.
Way down on revenue. I mean, the revenue, I'm still looking for some numbers. I'll have hard numbers next time. Misty's just now finding the corners of the office, learning this stuff. So, it's gonna take a few more weeks, months. She's been here 3 weeks, maybe a month, 3 weeks, and, billing had to go out. We had to get all the dumpster billing out, roll-off billing out. There's just a lot of other things that go on in that office, and she's been trying to learn it all. She's doing a good job. It's a big pill to swallow.
Any media got any more questions in regard to that?
I hate to ask this, given the kind of financial crunches we're looking at. Do we, you mentioned the pool is maybe has reached the end of its useful life or very near it. Do we have any idea if we looked at replacing it? Do we have any idea what we might be looking at in that regard?
I'll have to get with Madison Pools. They're the only pool installer that'll actually come in and do the tear outs and rebuilds in this area that I know of, that are qualified, licensed, and insured to do the job that we're wanting them to do. They did it last time, so they're familiar with the pool. And again, I don't have the numbers of what we sold last year versus this year. A lot of it's my fault. I've been out in the field a ton more than most of the time. We've got problems going all over in town. I'll be glad to talk to you about it after the meeting, but it's a lot of buildings issues. We've just got a lot of stuff going on other than the swimming pool, and it's my fault that it's fell through the cracks, but I just hadn't done a good a job as getting everything together as I'd like to this year. I feel like, the revenue is a big deal, the chemicals are a big deal, and, you know, looking at it, we did buy a pump for the kiddie pool this year. That was $1,700 and we're talking about a $10,000 difference compared to what I would like to see. Our best year was $8,000 and our worst year was 15,000 up until to this year. And that's just where we're at.
Something we got to really start discussing in the next few months, probably. We usually wait till about January, but it's probably next part November. We'll schedule a meeting next month and we will try to put this on there and have to start discussion on it. I mean, we got to decide something and come up with a better plan, it looks like. Are any more questions on this?
If we're gonna continue, with this pool, we've still got 2 more LED lights that, per the electrical inspector needs to be replaced. We have to wait until the pool's drained for the one on the deep end and the one on the far side. They're just, they're hard to deal with in water. And, we've lost a bracket on the deep end pool and without a boat or something where we could get in there and make a new bracket to hold that light. All that stuff's been in there for 12, 13 years now in chlorine and, they're just destroyed. The chlorine eats that kind of stuff up. It's a little old bitty bronze bracket that's inserted into the mud. And, that stuff's failing. So we've got some minor repairs there to do. We're trying. I mean, I'm trying, you know, we're doing what we can. It's just been a rough year and I think we can tighten this number up a little bit. It's just gonna take me a little more digging. I hadn't spent near as much time in there with these ladies. We've had problems at the recycling center. The Justice Center is a wreck right now with water issues. It just goes on and on. So we're working on it. I'll try to get a better number next month.
Any more discussion on this? If not, we'll move into, section B, trash services. First thing under that is status of the trucks.
I've spoke to the dealer and we're still on track for December, January. So, you know what we said last year, we waited over a year for that last truck. And it could very well happen to us again. You just never know what's gonna happen. I feel like we'll get it, in a reasonable time. He's promising me that anyway.
Anybody got any questions for Cliff on this?
Just one, I know last month you had mentioned you would had to put, I think it was 2,500 you had said in the current truck and expecting to have to put in more. Are we still having to put significant money into keeping the current one up and going?
We've got everything either installed on the truck or, in a bag laying there ready to be installed. It's doing real good right now. It gave us a fit last week, all week last week, and we chased it down to a broken wire under the throttle pedal and, replaced it. Actually, we replaced it and it's doing much better now. We've still got a couple of parts that we'd like to get replaced to keep the DEF system up and running. This DEF system's It's Mac's new one. When they came out in 2013, we destroyed one truck on this, with this same DEF system. It was just, it was a bad design, and that we're still running on that bad design. All the rest of these trucks are doing real good. We've never had a DEF issue with any of the rest of them, that weren't Mac. So we're doing good. It's gonna be a good truck, be a heck of a backup truck when we get everything going.
All righty, we'll move into the next item, Board of Education dumpster billing. We had discussed this in our last meeting, and we said we'd bring it back up tonight. Did you get us?
I've got a little bit better grip on it. Around, they call, and just during school year, it's 35,870. And if we dumped them every day, it was around 42, 43 year round. I spoke with Mr. Gully. I hadn't spoken with Dr. Satterfield about it, but I think Mr. Gully's kind of been the liaison and got this straightened out. The 40,000 would be agreed upon if we set some cardboard dumpsters at the high school, the middle school, and the elementary school. Those would be dumped on a different route, free of charge. We're gonna start charging eventually for cardboard here in town, but it's not gonna be very much. I think when John Pat picked up the cardboard in the city, he charged like 25 cents a minute or something like that. And it does add up to quite a bit. I don't know how we'll do this dumpster billing. For cardboard, we'll have to figure out something. It's not about us making money on the cardboard as far as picking it up. We make money off of it, selling it. I would like to make a little on the pickup. But the main thing is we keep those recycling numbers up. You know, we've been talking about this for years, and we're the last year of our 10-year plan, the 2015 to 2025 10-year plan. And if we weren't at a certain amount of on percentage numbers with recycling, we were going to have to buy another door-to-door garbage truck with a split tail on it and offer door-to-door pickup for recyclable materials, which means 3 extra bins per household. And that takes 2 men on the back of the truck, sorting it and dumping it in the proper locations and doing it that way. Or more containers like we have at our houses now, the 96 gallon or smaller, to have a truck come by and pick them up, but that's still another driver, another truck, more containers, and to get the community to cooperate with us. So, right now we're meeting our goals. We're where we need to be. Nobody's upside down with our numbers. We've turned in good numbers every year, and we're on track. But I have to keep that up, or we will have to start offering that. I kind of strayed from what we were talking about a little bit, but that's the main reason we take this cardboard, is to keep our recycling numbers up. It's completely gonna lose money all the time, but we have to do it no matter what. We're bound by the state to do it. So if we go to, we'll call during the summer, which means, hey, they call certain time on a Monday to anytime during the week and say we need a dumpster emptied, we'll pick it up for the agreed amount, which is $35 a dump. And every day during school, and do the cardboard like we talked about, we'll do good. We're not gonna completely lose our shirt. It'll be a wash, in my opinion. It's just up to you guys whether y'all want to move forward with this or not. Commissioner Gully said that Dr. Satterfield would agree to $40,000 a year if we went to will call during the summer, because we've been dumping them pretty regular, almost every day during the summer. The schools are still open, they're active. It's always a fluid building. They're always producing garbage, so we do dump them, and they do have trash in them. We don't just dump them because they're empty. But the 40,000 would include dumping them on will calls during the summer and having the cardboard containers placed at the school, and then participating in a cardboard recycling program. That was the agreement.
Mr. Grigger?
If we're dumping in every day during the summer, and it sounds like it's necessary, if 42, 43 is our cost doing that, and 40, that's close enough for me. I'm satisfied with that. I think my concern last month was, you know, where we losing our shirt on that, but from what Cliff says, it doesn't sound like it. I would question though, do we need to, no, of course, as, no. No, our fuel costs are gonna go up, our payroll costs are going to go up, you know. Do we need to include some kind of, you know, something to account for inflation in this? Maybe like a, I don't know, a 2% annual increase, or have we given any thought to anything like that?
No, I've not. We've been at $35 a dump for several years. That's the going rate around us. TDS charges that. Now you get off in places like Murfreesboro and Nashville. I believe they have to pay to rent the dumpster, and have to pay a lot more. Now TDS, if I'm not mistaken, does make you sign a 1 year, or I'm pretty sure it's a 1 year contract. I just don't think it's 5 years. It's a 1 year contract that ours is open ended. You can come in and we'll set you a dumpster and start the fees then. But, I don't have anything in place like that, no, sir.
I entertain a motion, for the 40,000, like he's mentioned, like was brought up at the last meeting. And if we do approve it, we'll have to, have to go in front of the whole county court with our recommendation.
Yeah, I'll move that we recommend to approve. Move to recommend this agreement to the county commission with a favorable recommendation. Yes, up to 40,000.
Just make sure it includes the wheel call in the summer and the cardboard.
All righty, what we got next here is residential cans.
Okay, the cans that were placed in the urban services district in 2012 and 13 have expired their warranty. They had a 10 year warranty on them when we bought them. We bought, I think, if I'm not mistaken, we bought 100 at one time that has a 2014 or 16 date on them, and then we bought either another 100 or 500 that are for purchase. I'm pretty sure it's 100 that were for purchase. And then we bought 1,000 year before last. The problem is these cans that are 10, 12, 13 years old, 12 years old have, they're starting to be damaged, just from wear and tear. The truck, if they're not setting just right, perfect on the side of the road, the truck will crush them just a little and crack them. They've been hit by cars, a lot of different things, the pins, the wheels, just a lot of them are having issues around town. Is that something y'all wanting to replace for free? Is it gonna start being a purchase? I don't know how y'all wanna do this. If it's gonna be for free, a lot of people, we're getting a lot of people now that just say, when we moved in here, there wasn't a can. And we've been telling them, you'll have to buy a can regardless. And, that's why we've been holding fast at that, because the county didn't steal it. We didn't remove it. We didn't have anything to do with it being gone. So how do y'all want to play this? I will say, I should have brought some literature from Wilson County. If you move to Wilson County today, you have to buy a trash can for $75. No ifs, ands, or buts.
What is your recommendation on this?
We can't afford to keep buying trash cans. It'd be as simple as me saying my can's damaged, or it wasn't here when I moved in, and we give them one. And that one's either there the next day or 2 houses down or in a horse barn somewhere. And, who's to say where the can got off to? If we don't start holding some people responsible for the cans, who knows what we'll be doing in the next 2 to 3 years as they get worse and worse. When they're flat gone, we make them buy one. If there's reasonable damage, there's been a couple this past year we've worked with, but we're, like I said, they've lived their life cycle. They're done. And I think, and I live in the urban district, but I don't see how we can keep producing cans at the cost that they are and getting them in here. I don't remember what the last load cost us, but it was an average of 70, I want to say 70, somewhere between 72 and $77 a can. $75 a can is what they're costing us to get them in here. A lot of people's will last forever. They put them up at night, like, and when the trash route's been ran, they put them up, they put them in a garage or up next to the house. They're not in the sun and in the weather. Mine's still like new. Mine's in good shape, but there's people that leave them on the roadsides. And you know, that's not it. When we took these cans out, everybody got a packet, and I should have brought one for everybody tonight, but it says the cans have to be brought back to the house after the trash route's done for the day. It stipulates what time they need to be out, what day the route is on. We write all that on the front of the can, the day and the time of the route, and tape it to the trash can. Anytime we take a can out, they get a new packet with it, so they know what the rules are. I know it's available on the website as well, so it's not a secret. You know, it's just, it's gonna start being more and more of a burden on us, and I don't know how to control it. So I'm bringing it to you guys.
This was just brought on me tonight. Can we maybe put this off next meeting and put some more discussion and bring us some more stuff on this? We need to put some more thought in instead of just doing something tonight.
Absolutely.
This was brand new on me here tonight, and I would like to we need to really look into this.
Yes,
and
sir.
We'll bring it up next meeting.
We've got time. I mean, I'd rather take our time and do it right. I don't wanna just do something.
So we will discuss this at our next meeting. We need to put some thought into this, come up with a good plan. Any more questions on this? If not, we'll move into, is there anything else we need to bring up under other? Mr. Gregory?
I guess just one question. Do we have like a list somewhere of where the cans that are out of warranty, do we know where they are? I mean, is there a way to let the owners of these particular ones know, hey, this is a problem, you may need to replace it?
It's not been a problem up until this. We're getting it to where it's gonna be a problem. Let me tell you what we've done for the past 2 years. We'll have one with a lid blowed off of it on my street and one on River Street with a wheel gone. We'll take 2 or 3 cans and make a can. And when somebody claims a warranty, we'll go swap it. And years previous to that, I could send pictures of the damages and what I had in a pile there, and they would send me what I needed, either caps for the trash can lids, wheels, axles, anything we needed, they would replace it without issue. But we're running out of used cans. I don't have 2 or 3 beat up to make a good can for somebody that, you know, just had an absolute damage. So I don't know. I don't think I answered your question, but that's what we've been doing.
I guess what I'm asking is, you know, the ones that we know that we need to replace them, do we know where they are? I guess who has them?
We know where we know where all of them are minus 200 or so. There's been some stolen ones. I found them in forwarded addresses and got them back that way, but there's several that have just disappeared. We had a little old lady 2 years ago show up at Walgreens and had one stuck under her car from Thompson Lane. And she pulled up on the curb and the guys in the store helped her get it out. She backed up and drove off. We hadn't seen her since. So that kind of stuff, we try to help people. But those car strikes are all over town when the residents are leaving them roadside on something like Thompson Lane, East Main, anywhere there's a narrow street. If they're hit by a car, there's, you know, How do we hold those people responsible? Especially if it was on their trash day, you know, I kinda help them when I can on trash day, but if it's a Monday route and they get hit on Friday or Thursday, it's hard to work with these people that don't wanna help us.
Just maybe at our next meeting, bring what we do now, or if it's, and say we need to do some changing on it. I mean, all how everything's done, maybe we need to look at changing a few things on it, but I mean, that's something we need to really look into this. Y'all got anybody else got any more questions on this? I live in urban services. You live, I mean, I know Mr. Perry, we all live in urban services here, so it's something we need to really get a grasp on. And next thing here's others. Anything else we need to bring up tonight? I do need to schedule a meeting probably for, let's go ahead and look for the October meeting. Might be October 17th. You know, does that look good? Is anything else that you know of, Amy, that night? Looks like,
There's not a downtown sound, but Mr. Potts did mention at Rotary today that there was gonna be some kind of a benefit concert in October, and I don't think he specified, but I'm assuming it would have been the same time frame. I'd have to check with Mr. Potts. I say he mentioned it at Rotary today, but I don't remember what he said the date was.
y'all, if it's a Saturday night, if that date's not good, I mean, somebody else give me it. I mean, I need it on a Thursday night or Tuesday night would be the best. I mean, I was looking at October the 17th. We usually have our meetings on Thursday night. 6 o'clock, huh? So let's go ahead and schedule our next Public Works meeting for October 17th at 6 o'clock. And Cliff, we need to get the discussion of this pool going on about this trash can for sure. We've got to be discussed on this.
Yes, sir.
Um, All right, if that's it, next thing on our agenda is public comment. Is anybody in the public like to make a public comment? Do what? If you would come over here and state your name. And we just allow like 3 minutes. It's our time limit.
I was wondering about the animal shelter. I put an application in. My name is Shanna Hobbs. Shanna Hobbs, SHANNAHOBBS. Is there anybody running it right now, or are you taking, I already put an application in for it and I made all the qualifications.
This was discussed at our past meeting with Mr. Soleil. Can you give us, I mean, you want to answer that?
Right now, we're not accepting any animals at this time. If there's an emergency around town, we try to help people. We worked with a lady today, but, right now there's nothing down there, no need to, I just don't see any point in hiring anybody at this time. We won't refuse anybody's applications, but right now I've got 3 openings in my department as well, but winter's coming, we're not gonna fill them. So if there's not a need, I'm just for the county's budget and my tax dollars, we're just not at this time. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
If that's all, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Mr. Grieger, you got some?
Just as to what Cliff said, it seems like there is enough of demand out there that maybe we ought to be looking at filling that position, but that's a question for the mayor. That's not really something for this committee, but I'll just make that point. And after that, I'll move to adjourn.
I, I haven't felt that demand. We've fielded a few calls. We've checked on a couple of the animals that we've got calls on, the dogs were at home, they were on their porch. It's just either an upset neighbor, and we've had a lot of people call about cats and kittens, but we've never taken them there. I don't have any way to do that there, where there's no pens or, any way to keep them there. So, and I've had them call and I had some people looking for barn cats. And I told them what we were looking for and they just got mad and hung up on me and said these cats were not barn cats. So I couldn't help them.
Had a motion to adjourn with Mr. Grigor here to have a second. Second. Thank y'all for coming.